every generation hates the next generation after them. The boomers hated the Gen Xers hated the millennials, and the millennials hated Gen Z. But now, Gen Z hates the Gen Alphas.
What the hell is even that?
Now, I think generational stereotypes are kind of stupid. I think that the time just keeps repeating itself. Teenagers have always acted a certain way. The 20-year-olds have always acted a certain way. Old people have always acted a certain way. People in the middle of their lives have always acted a certain way. But people get really hung up over what year you belong to, what generation you belong to. There's a lot of people that seem to really think that matters. So for the sake of those people, we're going to just go ahead and use the definition here that I found, where it says Gen Alpha are the demographic born from early 2010s to the 2020s. These individuals are the children of millennials and are the first generation to be fully raised in the 21st century. So, that gives us a pretty good description, actually, I think. It's the first generation to be raised by the millennials, and they typically are born between the early 2010s to the 2020s. So I think that's the definition we're going to go off of here as we move forward. So I found this video, and it's what appears to be a woman that would belong to Gen Z, and she is complaining about an interaction she had with Gen Alpha. And this is like a popular thing right now. You're starting to see a lot of more younger Gen Z oriented channels starting to talk about Gen Alpha, which just goes to add to my point that it doesn't matter what generation you belong to. There's just certain stepping stones that each generation seems to hit, and they all act remotely the same when they get to each stage of life. But anyway, so without further ado, I'm going to let this lovely young lady explain to us how she had a terrible experience interacting with Gen Alpha while performing with her band for them at a daycare. And I'll chime in every so often and let you know what I think about where we're at. Also, real quick, I blurred out the part of it that would show her username with the TikTok logo. I did this one because you couldn't read the username anyway, as it is a re-upload of a re-upload all on TikTok. And also, I've been told that the TikTok logo can hurt you in the algorithm on YouTube. Anyway, so I just decided to blur the whole thing. And quite frankly, God bless her for sharing her story, but I put more effort into trying to make this tolerable than she did recording the whole thing. So yeah, I don't know, consume me.
Kids these days are acting way too old, way too fast, and it's honestly terrifying. So I've been a daycare performer for 5 years, and by daycare performer, I mean the schools hire me and my little band to go and perform for their kids, and we sing really interactive songs. So kids come up and they play the instruments, and we market ourselves as fun for all ages. And for the past, when I first started 5 years ago, kids loved it. Older kids like to sing to the microphone. They like to play the piano. Younger kids like to shake the maracas, like to do little dances. It's fun. But I started to get this last year, but it's just been really bad this year. It's the school agers, so 5 and up, just wanting nothing to do with us. And I get it if you can politely sit there and think you're too old for it. I get it. But
guys, it's me, Schmo. I guess this is how we record videos now for people online on TikTok. This girl is getting picked on by 5-year-olds, and she's about to complain about it. And my favorite part there with what we just watched is where she's she's talking about 5-year-olds and saying oh, I get if you can just sit and be respectful as a 5-year-old. If you can be mature they're not mature as a 5-year-old. They're fucking 5 years old. They're a toddler. The toddlers are misbehaved. Boom! My God. All right. So yeah, let's see what else she has to say.
Today, for example, the school agers needed to make it known that they were so mad. They were so mad they were there. They thought we were stupid. They thought that we thought they were babies. Your school hired us, 1. And 2, they're yelling things throughout the show, this is torture, this is stupid, you're stupid. And the teachers just sit there like it's normal. And I finally got one of the teachers, and I was they're ruining the show for the 2-year-olds, the 3-year-olds, the 4-year-olds up front that are having fun. They're making this a negative space. And then after the show, we're cleaning up in their room. We were performing in their room. And the teacher's why were you guys disrespecting them? And I was why are you having this discussion with us here? But they asked the students why they disrespected us. And one of the little girls, who was probably 6 or 7, looked at us and yelled, what? They think I'm a baby? They think I'm into this shit? I'm just baffled, because then all the other kids joined in and started yelling things like that at us, that we were stupid and treating them like babies. But like, you are. You are babies. You are young. Up until about, like I said, like maybe 2 years ago, your kids your age were into it.
Now, I really like that part because, first of all, the one thing that I just want to get across is, how does she know the age of these kids? Is she just assuming that they're much younger than they actually are? And as a response, she's not like treating them with the same level of maturity that they expect to be treated with? Because I know me, as a 26-year-old old dying man, when I see kids in high school, I think that they're literal toddlers. So I think there is a good chance here that this girl's old compared to these kids. She's getting old and she's getting cringy, and she may have been treating these kids like freaking babies, which quite frankly could have resulted in the response that she got. I mean, if these kids that you're trying to perform for are being vocal that they're like, they don't like what you're doing and they think what you're doing is cringe and it's torture, then maybe instead of blaming all of the children for not liking your act, you need to change up your act if you want to entertain these kids. Also, to the beginning of that segment there, she's a children's entertainer. That's what she does. That's her profession. And she goes to entertain children, and she doesn't know how to enact crowd control. And she's like baffled that none of the teachers are doing anything about it. I don't know. Me personally, if I hire a children's entertainer, and then I see that like when the kids start picking on them, that they like don't know how to react to it, and they want everyone to come over and do something about it. It's like, isn't that part of the job when you're entertaining kids, is to be able to kind of like handle them when they start acting up a little bit? Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong there, but I felt like that was very immature for her to look towards the staff of the daycare or the school when the children started picking on her. Like, it just, I don't know. It's just, it just seems funny to me the way she describes it.
If I had the chance to come play a piano on stage while two people sang behind me, I would have thought that was so freaking cool.
Are you sure? Are you sure you remember as a 20-something-year-old what you liked when you were 5 years old, allegedly? I don't know about that. Also, okay, you're clearly into music. You have a career in music. You're trying to find a way to make money with your passion, which is music. You know what I liked when I was that age? Working on cars. Okay, I have a little cousin who I tried to get into cars. Do you know how much he cared about me talking to him about pimping out his ride, putting a radio in it, putting a nitrous kit on his car? He could not care less. He probably thought I was lame for even bringing it up. Just because you were into music when you were a kid doesn't mean that every kid is into music. Okay, I don't know. It sounds to me like this person really like is not able to put herself in the shoes of these kids, and it's causing a lot of issues for her. I don't know. I just wanted to
And we're not singing like little kid stupid songs. Like, we're a rock band. Our producers make our music. We're fun. We're kid friendly. And then more than that, it's kids commenting on body image now. I heard another girl go to another little girl and start calling her chicken legs and telling her she needs to grow thighs and a butt. But this girl was like 6, man. It has to be social media's fault. And like, I'm just so discouraged.
All right, I might be wrong. How old is she? This girl might be like 89 years old, because now she's going off about how kids pick on each other. Did you guys know that? Did you guys know this new phenomenon that got brought on by social media where kids pick on each other now? Oh my God, shut the hell up. I don't know about y'all, but when I was in school, kids got picked on, all right? I got picked on for my appearance. I got told I had a big nose and a big head and I was too skinny. People got picked on for being chubby. Kids pick on each other. It's not new, and she knows that, unless she's way older than I'm giving her credit for, which I don't think she is, because she's laying on her bed recording a TikTok about how a bunch of toddlers bullied her. And that's what I really think it is. I think this is just her being like spiteful towards a bunch of children for being mean to her, because we started off talking about how the kids were disrespectful to her and how she doesn't understand why they didn't like the music they were playing and how they were mad that they were being treated like babies and they're growing up too fast. And now we're going into how social media is causing them to body shame each other. They're kids. They're children. What are we even going on about at this point? My God.
Like, I love babies. I love kids. They're just not kids anymore. And it makes me cry. Like, I literally left that school crying, not because they were insulting me, because it hurts to see how they act now. And a lot of these fucking teachers don't give a shit, man. They were joining in, calling the girl chicken legs. I'm never going back to that school.
All right, I call bullshit, or she's leaving out major context. She really expects me to sit here and believe that a bunch of teachers started chiming in, bullying a girl, calling her chicken legs. Shut up! Honestly, this is just such a pity party, and I just love to see it. And the reason I love to see it is because here we have someone clearly, at least to my perspective, from Gen Z, complaining about the next generation and how they're growing up too fast and how they're disrespectful. Just the same shit that you hear from every generation about the generation that's coming after them. And it just goes to show that these demographic stereotypes in what like generation you belong to are just total bullshit. People are complex, people act differently, and there are some things though that just come with growing up and becoming more mature. And that's another thing. This girl needs to grow up and needs to be a little bit more mature. To be crying because a bunch of children picked on you, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe you need to get into another career because is it really that kids aren't kids anymore? Or is it that you're not a kid anymore and you're struggling to relate to children that you're trying to entertain, and it's resulting in them responding to you negatively because you're getting old? And that's it. I don't really know what else to add to it. So leave a like if you liked the video, dislike if you disliked the video, leave a comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know what generation you're representing out there. And if you're new, subscribe, check out other videos on the channel. I'd really appreciate that. And that's it. Thank you for watching so much. Bye.
I know I'm probably just being so dramatic and annoying, but this is my first job, like my first 9-to-5 job after college, and I'm in person. If I was able to walk to work, and it'd be fine, but I'm not. So it literally takes me, I leave here, I get on the train at 7:30, and I don't get home till 6:15 earliest, and then